What is going on, everybody? Welcome in, Lineman Life Live. I am your observant lineman here, Uche Nwaneri. And I'm riding solo today. It's just going to be me here. Justin's not available to get with us today. He will be back on Wednesday, of course. But do appreciate everybody for being in here. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We got some things we're going to talk about here today. Specifically, Madden 23 is back. And we got some things that we definitely are going to look at here in regards to the official gameplay trailer that was released. I want to break that down. I want to go through that. Also, Aaron Donald has been given a new contract by the Los Angeles Rams. We'll touch on that detail a little bit there and talk about how that contract obviously makes him now, another tier of paid in regards to the NFL money hierarchy. Also, it's a couple little tidbits here and there in the football world. I'm sure many of y'all have seen the Russell Wilson cringe video with the Denver Broncos there. We're going to take a look at that too as well. Do a quick look at that and make fun of him for a little bit. But also, something that I thought would be worth discussing. I was going to talk a little bit about the whole John Gruden situation, but I thought, no, you know what? Let's go and let's actually touch on the situation with the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers have just hired the first transgender cheerleader in the NFL, in the NFL's history, to be more specific. So we'll talk about that as well here as we get into the show. But again, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. I do want to take a look at this Madden 23 trailer to start this thing off, though, because I mean, look, man, I just don't know where I stand anymore. Actually, I do know where I stand. I'm not really a fan of Madden anymore. I have been a fan of Madden for a long time, but even more so after I was able to actually do some work with talking with the guys at EA and just kind of seeing how things unfolded from there and how they were just kind of, blase about actually dealing with players and helping to make their game actually function better. I just kind of was turned off by their attitude in regards to that. And then there was the game. Madden 22 was utter trash. I mean, it was so bad. I can't. It's been a long time since I have not actually played a football game. I mean, I would have never thought that I would not be playing a football game during the football season at all. I have not played a football game since Madden 21. Madden 21, which is a weird thing, obviously, because former football player, love football, love the game. And I had not played a football game. And there's only one that you can play. So definitely we're going to break this trailer down. We're going to go into it. It's their official gameplay trailer called Field Sense. I don't expect that I'll buy this Madden either. As a matter of fact, I actually worked closely with Lost Soul on Twitter at Blost Soul. The guys who are doing the NFL 2K revamped, completely remodded version of NFL 2K5. They are actually getting ready to drop NFL 2K23, ESPN NFL 2K23. So that'll be something that I'm going to be definitely working with those guys in regard to testing that, because they're going to continue to build on the mod that they've set up. You guys saw me do those live streams many times during the season. Played with a few of you guys in here as well. So definitely is going to be something that's going to be back on something that's going to be back on the table come the next football season. So definitely look out for that. But let's go through this trailer. And now, and also, yes, and you know what? I was actually thinking about this. Mega Battle. Appreciate you dropping that. The Denver Broncos are being bought by Walmart. Can't make this up. We'll talk about that as well once we get into talking a little bit about Russell Wilson. But let's go through this trailer. It's a 4 minute and 50-second trailer. I'm not sure with the not sure what the copyright situation is with the music on this, but I'm going to keep the volume down as low as I can while still being able to at least like listen to what's going on here. But let's see what they're saying here for Madden 23.
With the goal of giving players more control over the games they play, we built a new foundation for gameplay in Madden 23 that we're calling Field Sense.
See, now, this is the first thing that you got to understand about Madden. Madden will come up with a gimmick that they will try and put in front of you as some kind of new feature to the game that really is an old feature that they're bringing back to the game because they didn't used to have it. They took it out of the game at a certain point, and now they're bringing it back. But let's continue. Field Sense.
New physics-informed animation and animation branching technology provide the foundation for consistent, more realistic gameplay designed to produce a variety of authentic results on every play. Field Sense affects gameplay in every mode. It comes to life in Madden 23 in 4 major ways through new control mechanics that we're calling Hit Everything, skill-based passing, 360 cuts, and wide receiver versus DB battles.
See, like, this is my issue. This is my issue because I see that this looks like nothing changes here. Let's look here. Back it up a little. Trubisky starting.
360.
Okay, so
cuts.
Looking at this play, I mean, everybody's just on a block. There's nobody. There's not even a linebacker in the box to actually play this running back, which there should be a linebacker in the box. There's no linebacker in the box. So this is what, when you talk about scripting something to make the game look better than it is, this is the perfect example of it right here. You have no linebacker in this defensive cover, defensive package that they're in. They're clearly in man because the linebacker got pulled out, which meant that there was no one covering, or actually the safety maybe was the person who's manned up on the running back. But that doesn't make sense to football because that's not how football is actually set up. That's not how they're set up. You're not going to have a safety playing man on the running back, and you're running an RPO right here at the line. He's 10, 12 yards, 15 yards deep by the time he starts running, and the running back has nothing but space here. That's like a complete setup. This is a complete setup. This is a terrible example of simulation football. Now,
wide receiver versus
this wide receiver versus DB battles thing, the reason why this annoys me is because I know that this is just a canned animation. Look at this. This is a canned animation a canned animation is not a bad thing in regard to giving the game a look of realism. Where canned animations become completely useless is that they take away the ability to actually control what you want your player to do. And this here shows me, because look at this. He's waving his arms as if he's already beat, trying to slow himself down. He's swimming to the inside. This is a canned animation. So you can't even control your DB to keep him from making that break to the inside. You're going to always be behind, which that doesn't fix the game.
22, you can predict the outcome of a play based on the animation that was triggered. Thanks to Field Sense, in Madden 23, we can dynamically branch out of tackling, catching, and blocking interactions so you can change the outcome until the play.
What? Why they got the quarterback on both of these?
Tackling, catching, and blocking interactions so you can change the outcome until the play is over. We've captured over 3,500 new animations covering an array of different interactions. When we say that Field Sense gives you the control to hit everything on defense, we mean everything. Essentially, this new defensive gameplay approach gives you more ways to make stops from every position on every play. With Hit Everything, you can hit the pile and generally cause mayhem anywhere on the field in pursuit of the ball.
Okay, so I understand that. So they're basically adding a physics system to this game as far as tackling goes. So defense is going to be OP this year, it looks like. I see some people in here in the chat over here, trying to act like they good at Madden. Nah, Madden's just garbage. Madden's just garbage. Let's just keep it at that, because it's not a good football game. Now I can appreciate them trying to add more physics to the tackling system, but you're already seeing people like Ryan Moody, who's been a guy who's been very critical of Madden for years on YouTube. Shout out Ryan Moody. Ryan Moody has already got his videos up that are kind of showing the difference or not showing the difference rather, but showing the consistently bad promises that EA makes, that when the rubber hits the road, there actually isn't much of a difference in the game. But like this here, right? So I guess this is made to simulate. I guess that was made to simulate
hit everything. You can hit the pile and generally cause mayhem.
So this is okay. And this is the problem. This is part of the issue with, trying to simulate football in a video game. You look at the situation here. This is terrible, just from a blocking standpoint, right? Which they're trying to actually script something. So why not actually use real technique here? Bend your knees, get your hands, get separation here. Have them just kind of like a practice rep would be, where you give him a show, give him resistance, you show him the look, and you allow him to execute the block. So if you're going to try and act like this guy's getting his leg cut out from behind him, well, I mean, that's really not something that I would think that's not how a guy is going to get beat on the block normally. You're not going to see a guy just get ran through like this and be on his back. He's going to have to come off an edge here, either to the inside or to the other side, to beat this block. And
anywhere on the field.
See, like that's not realistic. This doesn't really happen in the NFL. Like, you don't see offensive linemen get, look, he literally put this guy on his back with a shove.
Pursuit of the ball. And since all of the action is driven by physics, you'll see different outcomes depending on the players involved. As a linebacker, you can swiftly evade.
You see what I'm saying? Look at this. That doesn't happen. What? That doesn't happen. He comes on a blitz here.
Blockers or blow up blocks and pursue the quarterback.
Oh, God, that looked terrible. Let's go back. Hold on. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't know what's going on with these linemen's uniforms, but I guess whatever. This guy is going to come on a telegraphed blitz right down the middle of this center. Now, if you think for 1 second this guy has not been coached on how to handle this kind of block, this kind of blitz, how to take on a guy like this, you're foolish. You're fooling yourself.
As a linebacker,
come on. This guy is going to get his hands on this linebacker, and he's going to take him whatever way he wants to go and run him past. He's not going to just look. He just did bull rush and he just fucking annihilated him. That's not realistic at all. That is not realistic. I don't care what mode or zone he's in as a player. That's not going to happen. Point blank, period. All right. That's rarely going to happen.
Swiftly evade blockers or blow up blocks in pursuit of the quarterback. And with the addition of the new mid-air tackling system,
Jaguars getting some. Oh, he missed it. Of course, they're going to show the Jaguars not scoring. But
players defend the passing game. In the NFL, there's no one way to defend the pass. Sometimes DBs play the ball, and some situations demand that you get physical and play the receiver. With field sense, Madden 23 brings all that action to life.
See, to me, that's not realistic. That doesn't look realistic.
Madden 23 situations demand that you get physical and play the receiver. With field sense, Madden 23 brings all that action to life, putting you in control.
It doesn't look natural.
Knockouts at the point of the catch,
because you don't see DBs break up a lot of passes like right there.
Push a receiver out of bounds. A big hit on
like
the receiver
at this point,
drop.
The fact that he went up before this guy even comes off the ground, what are the chances that he's going to hit this guy and he's going to actually drop the ball? Maybe knock him out of bounds, but drop the ball.
Or push a receiver out of bounds before he can get his feet down. Hit everything also introduces a new stand-up tackle mechanic that gives you the ability to control the result of two-man tackles. A defender can hold up the ball carrier.
Hold on now.
The ability to control the result.
Hold on. You see this A button right here? Tap, 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 tap to break the tackle. That's from NFL 2K. That's literally that's a boosted feature from NFL 2K, where if you're being hit by a defender, if you keep tapping the speed burst, you can actually break out of the tackle. And, you know, it's, again, these are tackle branching, which is something that 2K5 had. I mean, it's 2022. NFL 2K5 had tackle branching. So this is like, That's why when they use these feature names, just go through the last 10, 15 years of the video game genre, and you'll probably find where they're boosting that feature from. 2K5 had that. I mean, hell, 2K4 had that. All the 2K games, except for the first one, I believe, had the ability to break out of a tackle if you were getting wrapped up.
Two-man tackles. A defender can hold up the ball carrier in an effort to buy time for a teammate to move in and make a play on the ball. Or the ball carrier can break the tackle to gain extra yards.
It looks good. It looks good.
Gameplay
but that's not a feature that they've come up with.
The very end of every play. We felt that in Madden 20.
Now you know they're not going to show. You know what they're not going to show.
Environment where you're actually playing to the very
They're not going to show defenders trying to pick up a fumble in Madden, because that would look ridiculous.
Every play. We felt that in Madden 22, while you had some control over ball placement, too much of the outcome was left up to the game and not the player. With skill ball placement,
pretty much every interaction,
game and not the player. With skill-based passing in Madden 23, you've got the control to put the ball exactly where you want, just like Patrick Mahomes. With this new mechanic, we're exactly where you want.
Okay, so what is this
just like
DB
Patrick
doing?
Mahomes.
Okay, see, this is the thing, right? And I don't know if you can fix this in football video games. I don't know if it's possible. But I look at this and I think to myself,
where you want, just like
what defensive back is 5 yards away almost and running without looking at the receiver that he's guarding. Like, he has no idea where this guy is or where the ball is.
Mahomes.
And he still doesn't. And this receiver already knows where the ball is going to be. He underthrew it on purpose. And then he stops. And he just runs past.
This new mechanic, we're revamping our pass leading from the ground up to enable throws that you just couldn't make in the game before. With just a left thumbstick, you've got the control to put the ball exactly where you want.
But this is what passing has always been in Madden. This is not this is not new. This isn't something that we haven't already seen. This is pretty much how Madden has been. Left thumbstick controls where you want to lead, if you want to throw it behind. But hell, I mean, 2K has had maximum passing for decades. Maximum passing, you can literally put the ball wherever you want to put it. And if your quarterback's not good enough to put it wherever you want to put it, it's going to be shorter. He's going to overthrow. He's going to underthrow too much. He's going to throw it too wide. He's going to throw it out of bounds. So skill-based passing is maximum passing in a nutshell. So again, this is not This is not a system that I really believe is authentic and bringing something fresh to the table for Madden. It's just Madden. I mean, and that's why it's so frustrating to me, because I'm like, I'm tired of, like, can we get another football game? Please, can we get another football game? 2K, please. Yes, we're running the 2K23 mod, which I love, but we need a new football game with reckless abandon. We need a new football game. It's crazy. I'm really over this. I'm over the whole Madden shit. Let's get something else. At least give us options.
This gives you the freedom and creativity to really change up the passing game. You can drop throws into tight windows. You can place the ball away from the
you can already
and take shots downfield with throws into tight windows. You can place the ball away from the defensive back and take shots downfield with accurate back shoulder.
You're just seeing defensive backs getting smoked on each one of these plays. I guess they're promoting the passing, but they already showed us what the defensive backs version of, addressing the pass game is. And it's just animations. It's just animations where you hit the guy, he either drops it or he holds it. But the animation really is kind of predetermining how good or bad position your defensive back is going to be in, as we saw earlier in the video. Like, if the animation is chained all the way through to where at the end of it, your defensive back is 2 yards behind the receiver, then it doesn't make a difference, what the feature is supposed to bring. You've already lost the battle on the pass route.
Their passes and end zone corner fades to the pylon. You can place the ball on a corner route or drop it in on a deep vertical route, all with the same risk.
Okay, look, there's a reason. There's a reason why they didn't show you this pass. Because already with the release of the ball right here, there's no way this ball is going to make it to the corner. That's just not how that works. There has to be an arc on this to get it into the corner. There has to be an arc. This is what they teach quarterbacks every year. You got to put that thing on an arc so it drops into the corner. If this thing is coming on what seems to be a rope, because when he throws it, it doesn't go really more than maybe, I would guess, like 10 or 15 feet in the air. These guys could just step in front of that and pick that off.
All with the same risk and reward.
But there's a reason why they didn't show you that route.
Skill-based passing is a game changer for all skill levels.
Come on, dude. This again, like, what are that? What defense are they running? I know they got to script the play. I know they have to script these for the trailer. But does that mean you just call like a ridiculous defense? Like, you just call like, but even at this looks like a cover four. This is like a 4 deep coverage, because you got everybody's playing deep. So how does he get behind this guy?
Skill-based.
And look at this. What is he looking at? Come on. Where's the safety over here? Here's the safety. Wow. This is terrible. This is really bad. Like, this is my thing. And yes, this is Carson Wentz throwing the football. But let's think about this for a second. If you wanted to show your game in the best light, wouldn't it make sense to be able to have your quarterback and show the feature of the game, make this throw while he's being covered, to show that you can actually put the ball where you want it to, where you want the ball to be, even when the guy is covered with great coverage. And then it depends on whether or not your receiver is good enough to catch it. Or also it depends on whether or not your quarterback is good enough to make that throw. Now, as I sit here and I look at this defensive coverage, it has to be a 4 deep, because he's playing deep. He's playing deep. He's playing deep. They're all playing behind the first down marker on a 2nd and 10. There's nobody even covering the running back. So they're in a deep zone. Deep zone, containment rush. Oh my God, they just set this shit up like just so they can make this throw without some kind of glitch happening here and getting sacked. But then you have a safety here and a safety here. I can't even see a scenario where they would put this safety this far down in coverage when his responsibility would be the deep third on this end, or the alleyway, the seam. That's what this is, the alleyway right here. And this guy is, I mean, if it's a 4 deep coverage, you should have 2 safeties playing in these same spots, which would be setting this up to be an interception off the rip. So this guy here is in the wrong place, doing nothing and covering no one at all. He is cutting the linebacker, I guess, or maybe DB next to him, is covering nobody at all because the running back is wide open. These 2 linebackers or defensive backs are covering no one, but they're in a zone, but they're not even carrying in the zone. You would think, let me back this up because this is so stupid.
In reward of elite NFL QBs.
Okay, so they're playing single high here. So no, they're playing single high, but this is still a 4 deep zone because as I look at it here and using my football knowledge, I would say you'd have somebody manned up here. You'd have somebody manned up here. This guy would sit in would start here, but then would bail deep to help cover this at the very least, and anything that comes into this alleyway outside the hash mark. So here, you see him, he shouldn't even be backpedaling at this point. He should be turning his hips and getting back, because this guy is if anything, if this is a corner out here, he's got to cover that. This is if he's going down the seam, this safety has to cover that. But if he comes across his safety's face, then this safety needs to cover that. So you don't have, they're not even man over here. I mean, this is terrible. So
Risk and reward of elite NFL QBs.
And this is why the game is still broken, because in a zone, this guy should be carrying. He should be carrying this. He should be carrying this, or he should be playing with this. He should still kind of shadow this route, because if he throws that ball anywhere in this vicinity, you can break underneath it. You can stay underneath it and get the stick, and you have over-the-top help. It's bracketed. So here is the same thing. Anything that comes in this middle of the field, this linebacker here can get under it and pick it off, or get under it and make the tackle. And this safety can get over the top and pick up anything over the top. But they have nothing. And this guy, again, it shows that it's a glitch because he has no idea that he's supposed to be there. So now he's getting small.
All skill levels.
So, I mean,
in Madden 22, running the ball using the left stick lacked total control. At times, players would get gradual banking turns versus sticking a foot in the ground and making a hard cut, leading to situations where you just couldn't make a play and pick up those extra yards.
Is this the old Madden?
The new
Or is
360
this the
cut
new one?
mechanic in Madden 23 lets you utilize L2 and the left stick for more freedom when controlling the ball carrier. Now you can precisely hit the gaps.
Okay,
as you see
so
them.
there we
More
go.
freedom
You're
when
seeing
controlling-
right there. And again,
23 lets
when
you
you're talking about
utilize
realism,
L2
you're
and the left
talking
stick.
about simulation. Got a double team here up to this guy. Got a single block up here. This guy knows that that's his man. So,
More
I mean,
freedom when
come on. That's just not going to happen just like that. I'm an old lineman. I like that. But that's just not how that's going to happen.
controlling
That's
the
not
ball
going to happen
carrier.
like that. He just literally just bodied this cat. Now, this is the part that I want to look at with some seriousness.
Now you
There should be contact here. That is bullshit. You've changed nothing. Look, this is a full downhill. This is a downhill safety. He doesn't even
hit the
touch
gaps
it.
as you see the stick for more
And
freedom
let's
when
not be,
controlling the ball
look, Christian
carrier.
McCaffrey is
Now you
nice,
can pres-
but come on. That's obviously a canned animation. That's a canned animation that allows him to get by this guy without even actually being touched, when in real football, in simulation football, he is going to make an attempt to make this tackle here. He might miss, which the miss would still create contact, But he's not going to not touch this cat and put an invisible barrier that keeps you from actually initiating contact.
Precisely hit the gaps as you see them from any position, whether you're a running back.
And then I mean, look, this is just not
quarterback on the run, receiver.
I understand what they're doing. They're trying to make an improvement to the game. I get it, but
360 cuts offer total control. In face of the franchise, you can play your NFL career at one of 5 different positions, including wide receiver and defensive back.
And I mean, look at the coverage here.
What is at one of 5 different positions?
I mean, come on,
wide receiver and defensive back. Your NFL
look
career.
At this. Okay, so again, let's talk about how coverage is still broken. This safety here. His key should be on, let's say, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. His key should be on this guy. His eyes should be looking at this because they're running a 2 receiver set, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in coverage. Maybe one more because there's I think there's somebody off screen, but this safety here will key down on this. This linebacker has a 2-way go. He can peek here if this guy comes inside, or he's more than likely going to be looking at this that's coming towards him to cover that. But what the hell is this? What are you covering? What are you covering right here?
5 different.
What are you covering right here? What are you not seeing? What are you seeing here? I mean, it's bad. Tucker White 94 for $5 super chat. He says either this is some bad game design or Todd Bowles forgot how to play defense. I mean, come on. This is the same garbage that they've been making. And I don't think that it's an exaggeration for me to say that. I really don't. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it. There is no awareness here at all. There's no awareness of this, the best receiver in the NFL, one of the best, arguably the best. There's no awareness for the threat he poses by 3 players who have him literally bracketed to start the play.
Offer total control in face of the franchise.
So, I mean, this is based on what I can tell, this is cover 2. This is cover 2. That's just simple cover 2. But the thing about cover 2 is the safeties play over the top of everything still. And really, with cover 2, a lot of corners in the NFL will actually, if they, based on, depending on who it is, not a lot, but depending on who it is, he's going to play man on him anyway. If this is somebody like Jalen Ramsey, it may be cover 2, but he's going to carry him a lot further in cover 2 because of the threat that he poses. And he's going to focus in on making sure that this cat does not get behind him in any way.
You can play out your NFL career.
You have guys make drops into cover 2 formations, cover 2 spacing. Look, anticipation is a big part of football. Anticipating what's going to happen. In an NFL game, this linebacker is going to anticipate, because this guy is running towards the hash, he is going to drop deeper and try to get underneath his route. This guy is going to attach from over the top usually because he knows there's no more threats out to the outside. So he's going to attach to this because he knows there's only 2 routes going on here. The running back's even in the block.
We're at one of 5 different.
But you're going to tell me that 1, 2, 3 defensive backs
positions, including.
He still has not even reacted. He hasn't even reacted to this at this point. And he's beat by 2 yards.
Wide receiver and defensive back.
I mean, come on, man.
And while the new 1v1 battles are.
See, that's the problem. It's a canned animation where it makes it so that you're so out. Look, he's so out of position now. By the time you're allowed to have control back, he's already gone. Come on.
Every mode, this is where it really comes to life. New branching receiver footwork delivers more control when battling with DBs. We've added a whole new suite of wide receiver release moves and open field cuts that empower players to create separation.
I
from the
mean, you
secondary.
can just tell that what do they do with the
cut
DBs
moves,
here?
You now have the ability to get creative
What?
and fake out the DB.
Oh my
This new open field
God. Okay. Let's I don't know what defense this is. I do not know what defense this is. But never does the safety in this situation, never would a safety break down to the running back. He would break down to the running back and he would stay with his attention to the star receiver who is a unbelievable red zone threat.
cut moves.
He actually makes this a touchdown pass because if he just stays at home, he can backpedal into that and pick that off. I don't understand what this is. Who is he supposed to be covering? Because I would think that he would be biting up here to take the running back. And I don't even know. I mean, what is this? What is this?
You now have
He's
the
just
ability
alone.
to get creative and fake out the DB. To counter, DBs have new press mechanics so you can battle on both sides of the ball. How you position yourself as a DB is going to influence your ability to lock up a receiver off the line. We built this year's game to empower players in a number of ways. We're just getting started with a new foundation for gameplay through field sense in Madden 23.
I'll be honest, ladies and gents. That's going to be a waste of your money if you buy that garbage. That's going to be a waste of your money. Wow, because that shit looked terrible. Because everything looks good with these little, you look at these animations and you think it all looks sweet. It all looks nice. It all looks fresh. The graphics look great. The game looks phenomenal. If only games could be, we could decide whether games were good or bad based on just how they looked. The game looks phenomenal. The graphics look amazing. Come on, let's be real. But that don't mean shit because we know how it plays. We know how it plays. So that is the breakdown of the Field Sense video from Madden 23. I mean, look, at the end of the day, people are going to find a game that they want to play. People are going to find a game that they want to play when it comes to this. They're going to find something. If we can't get a new 2K, then, we make a 2K. We make a 2K. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we do. This, again, for people out there who are interested, this is what Lost Soul is doing with NFL, with ESPN NFL 2K. He is continuing to bring more and more features to NFL 2K5 to update it into a more modern state as a game. Again, here's just a little bit so you can see. And I mean, these graphics are a bit updated. They've done a lot of work to actually update the graphics in this game. So there'll be things that look better than they did in 2K5. Things that'll play better. You have different kinds of setups. This is our team selection screen. This is previews from 2K23. You've actually got legit, well made out, well thought out mods from Lost Soul and the people on the 2K community. You got, and I think this was actually from last year's game, the 2K5 mod, but it's going to be nice, man. We got, Chris Berman in the studio still. He's got some gray hairs in here and everything. Pre-game, all of that. So this is going to be something that's going to be a mod that'll be available, that'll be coming out before before Madden 23 comes out. So definitely think about checking that out. I'll throw a link before we're done here. I'll throw a link so people can check that out. But it's definitely a homegrown, fan-made mod for 2K that provides a ton of replay value, gives new life to NFL 2K5. Definitely something that everybody, I think, who is a fan of football, and everyone here, I believe, is a fan of football. I think it's something you should check out. The mod runs on an emulator on computer, so you don't even need like a console to do it. If you have a computer, you can do it with a computer. It works fine that way. So that'll be something to look forward to coming here as we get closer to the season. Now, next up, Ian Rappaport, obviously, big news in the NFL with Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald signs a new, or restructures actually, a contract, his current contract. But it says here, Ian Rappaport reporting, the Rams have reworked all-world DT Aaron Donald's 3 remaining contract years to give him a massive $40 million raise through 2024, making him the highest paid non-QB in NFL history at 31 years old. He gets $95 million through 2024. Woo. Aaron Donald's, the guy's a damn good player. I'm not going to front. He's a damn good player. I would have loved to have played against this guy. I would have loved to have played against this guy. I would have loved it because, watching him play, I see him do things, and he reminds me of a lot of a defensive tackle who I played against named Jarrell Casey. Jarrell Casey was a defensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans for, I believe, like 6 or 7 years. And this was a guy who, I would watch film on this guy. He looked like he was a defensive tackle size, like Aaron Donald, who played like he was a defensive end. He was like a hybrid. Like the guy would rush like he was a D end. He would play, the run like a defensive tackle. He would rush like a defensive end. Very hard to play against. But, I had success against him. And, that guy was, as a rookie, had like 11 sacks at defensive tackle. This was watching his film. I was actually a tad bit nervous just because he was doing these guards so dirty. Like he was getting by them with such quickness. I just could not. I was like, yo, this is going to be hard. And it wasn't easy. He was a hard cat to block, but it's all about preparation, obviously. With prep time, Big Uche is like Batman. I just don't lose. So I had my prep time. I got ready for this cat, and I handed him his worst pass rushing defensive effort of the season that year. And that was a year he had 11 sacks. But Aaron Donald, I would have loved to play against a guy like this because you want to play against the best. I wanted to play against the best defensive lineman in the league every year. And I played against a lot of the best ones when I was, when I played. So congrats to him on a huge contract restructuring, getting that Brizzy bread. But Aaron Donald, it's well-deserved. I think obviously he's going to be a Hall of Famer, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 7-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champion. Defensive Rookie of the Year. The guy has the entire resume when you're looking for somebody who is going to be a Hall of Famer. So I definitely think that, it's worthwhile to get that dude his money while you can. It's definitely worthwhile to get him that money while you can, because look, ain't nobody else going to pay you unless they're not going to pay you unless you make them. Not going to pay you unless you make them. But I want to look at, and look, I know that this is something that people have actually talked about over the weekend, but I do want to make fun of Russell Wilson for just a little bit. Now, we're going to take a look at this here because Russell Wilson, and look, I don't expect much from quarterbacks. I don't expect quarterbacks to be, the most suave cats out there. I don't expect that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't expect that. But goodness gracious, son, you gotta do better than this.
Let's ride. Let's ride.
Broncos
Let's
country.
ride.
Perfect.
Okay.
One more time. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride.
The fuck? What the hell is this? Ooh wee. Russell Wilson goes on. I mean, this is why you just can't let the team PR people just post anything of you as a player. You gotta be like, look, don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna ruin my rep. I mean, I don't even know what this is, but it's cringe. It's cringe. It's really cringe.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Broncos.
Let's
country.
ride.
Let's ride.
Perfect. One more time. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Where's the enthusiasm? Let's ride. I mean, you're trying to get people hyped. You're trying to get people hyped. I don't understand what he's doing here. Because he's being kind of quiet. It's like he's got a neighbor or something that he doesn't want to distract him or doesn't want to disturb him. But this is stuff that goes up in the stadium, that goes up, on first and goal or third and 10 for the defense. These are the graphics that they play in the stadium. That's why you got the green screen behind them. They got the mic up there. This is like an actual production here. This is like big time production. They're using a lot of money to make these. I mean, kind of coach this cat up so he's not over here looking like, like he's autistic or something. Like he's completely like not even with what's happening here.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Like I don't like the let's ride is like the wrong tone. That should be going up. That should be like let's ride. Like something raw, something strong. It's like a too subdued.
Broncos country, let's ride.
It's like you can't Broncos country. Let's ride. That's like too that's too like you're losing me there. You're losing me. You can't go high to start then bring it down low. You gotta stay up with it. You gotta keep it going high. But I thought this was funny because it's just really cringe. It just doesn't look like a very good job at all. They're over here telling them, perfect. Hey, perfect. We love it. We love what we're seeing.
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
It's like, is he practicing? Is he practicing to do the actual take, or is that the take? That's kind of how I looked at that, because that didn't really make much sense to me there that he would continue to sound like he's practicing the actual take. Anyways, let's go on to what will be our final topic tonight, and maybe I will probably get to the Broncos being bought by Walmart. I think I'm going to get to that on Wednesday with Justin, because I think there's actually a little bit more going on. I think they're taking some more bids on buying the Broncos before they actually close that out. So I think we'll cover that once they close it out for certain. I don't think that is actually a done deal right now. I think that'll be a done deal soon, but from what I saw in kind of looking up some info on it, they said that there's actually another round of bids that is supposed to go on, I think today or tomorrow. So we will keep up with that. For those of you who are just jumping in here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. My co-host Justin will be back with us on Wednesday, folks. He's out of town today, but he'll be back. He sends his love. He misses you guys, but he will be back on Wednesday. Now, let's get into this last topic for the day, and I wanted to save this one for the end, simply because this is one that's going to be much more controversial, much more to kind of delve into, and a lot more. And there's some complexities here that we're gonna have to deal with in regards to just people's opinions, how people's worldviews are. It's gonna get into the political realm, I guess, a little bit, social, cultural realm, it's hard to call it because it's life, right? So there has been some history that's been made here in the NFL today. There has been history that has been made in regards to the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers have hired the first transgender cheerleader in NFL history. And this happened. I think this is from yesterday, but something we're going to talk about because this is an issue that has kind of become a hot button topic in our society in regards to the transgender part of the LGBTQ community. So I know there's a lot of debate going on there. I'm not here to give you, my personal view on what is what, because at the end of the day, I am not bothered by how anybody chooses to live their life. And as long as it does not affect me or mine directly, I say live and let live. Now, with this situation here, it says Carolina Panthers cheerleader Justine Lindsay made NFL history. According to BuzzFeed, Lindsay is the NFL's first openly transgender cheerleader. The 29-year-old made the cheerleading squad for the Carolina Panthers. The team is called the Top Cats. NFL has a funny way with words. Cats out the bag. You are looking at the newest member of the Carolina Panthers Top Cats cheerleaders at Top Cats as the first transgender female. Read the caption on a post announcing she'd been accepted on the team. This is Instagram. Let's take a look here. You know what? Let me do this. So let's go through this before we get all into, and I guess this is the actual the transgender woman here. So let's read. Let me see. How can I get this whole thing? Okay, here we go. Let's read into her message about the situation. So says cats out the bag. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Boom, boom. There we go. Says cats out the bag. You are looking at the newest member of the Carolina Panthers Top Cats cheerleaders as the first transgender female. I would like to thank the beautiful and talented dancers who supported me along the way. Alumni Top Cats family and friends for your love and support. I would never have gotten to this moment in my life if it wasn't for the support. Also, my beautiful coach. You are a special being that I truly cherish. Thank you for taking the leap of faith on me to be a part of your legacy and so many others. This is a moment I will never forget. I cannot wait to show you all what this girl has to bring. Thank you at Top Cats, a dream come true. Now, this was 9 weeks ago, apparently, March 30th. But here's a picture in the football stadium for the Panthers. Now, I mean, I'm hesitant to go into the comment section of this. I'm hesitant. I think a lot of people can probably understand why. Now, what does this mean? To have a transgender woman as a cheerleader for an NFL team. I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm not getting paid to do anything for the Panthers. And she is. Now, I can assume that there will be people who have their opinions about whether or not you are going to call this transgender woman a woman, or are you going to call this transgender woman a man? And I mean, we're going to be, I don't want to seem as if I'm trying to play both sides because I'm really not. So we're going to have to be blunt about this situation and how we talk about it. So, I hope that, everyone can understand that, my opinion and my view is my view. Doesn't have any, doesn't really mean anything towards how you view things unless you decide to make that. Generally, my philosophy as a person, my philosophy is whatever you want to be called is what the fuck I'll call you. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that even if your view is that this transgender woman is not a woman, there should still be a level of respect for what this person, wants and what this person wishes to achieve in their own life. I mean, you have to be fair in that regard because it is not, I don't think that it's a good look for someone to be, disrespected and that you don't call them what they want to be called. When people ask me what my name is, I say my name is Uche. Now, my full name is Uche Chukwu, but a lot of people can't pronounce that. So when they try to read that, they butcher my name, and I don't get mad because that's happened to me all my life. Oh, I've had people make fun of my name. I've had people, butcher my name all my life. It's never like I don't have any other name, but I go by Uche. So when I ask people to call me Uche, call me Uche. If you don't call me Uche after I've asked you to call me that, then I'm not gonna, then I'll feel disrespected. So in that regard, a transgender woman to me, I will call a woman if that's what they want to be called. They are effectively, trying to live that life. They effectively are living the life of a woman. The biology of it may not be, it's not the same, obviously, but that's beside the point. As a society, when we're talking about gender, that's different than sex. Sex is a biological thing, in my opinion. Well, I don't think that's an opinion. I think that's actually a fact. Sex is biological. Gender is actually societal based in terms of role. Now, people interchange them, but if we're going to just talk purely on the facts of it, then gender is a societal term, whereas sex is the biological term. So, if somebody decides that their gender is this and they're living that life and they are committed to that life, and it's not, a farce on their part, then I have no problem. I mean, and how would you know anyways without living with the person? But if they decide that's what they want to be called and that's how they want to be addressed, and then, hey, it doesn't hurt me to give them that. It doesn't hurt me to give them that. But I think that any person who, is going to set forth goals for themselves, you got to be, you got to keep positivity around that. And this trans woman has decided that she was going to try and join the Carolina Panthers dance team. Now, hey, what advantage does she have in that? I don't really see any advantage for her as a transgender woman over other women competing for that position. I don't think that that's necessarily, I think there is a bit more of a level playing field in that regard than when you compare something like a sport. Like, there's a couple of transgender swimmers who are obviously competing and winning and winning. Now, I don't know the details on a lot of that and how it breaks down. And I don't know the details in the science behind, the hormone therapy and all these different things. I don't know that information. So I'm not going to even go there. I'm not even going to go there because I would just be speculating and making up shit based on the logic that I reason with. So, I feel like we should give people respect who are in these positions when when it's a genuine thing, because it's only fair. I mean, at some point in our society, we will come to grips with these things or we won't. And I think that usually progress tends to push you towards coming to grips with those things. Because remember, at a certain time, not even 100 years ago, not even 80 years ago, I was considered lesser of a human being scientifically, socially, legally than some of you people who are watching this. I was literally considered less of a human being. This was not even 100 years ago. I was considered, you know, it's at about 150 years ago, which is what, 2 lifetimes? 2 lifetimes? That's two layers of your family tree going back. I was not considered a full human being. You understand? Like, I was considered 3/5 of a human being. So you got to put these things in perspective. So at that time, 150 years ago, if somebody said, you know what? I know this, I know this Negro. I know this Negro, he's a smart guy. This guy is, he understands everything that we're talking about as far as science goes. And he's actually coming up with new theories that I didn't think of, that I can actually get behind that makes sense. I think he's just as smart as we are. And there are people who would actually, you could be like, you'd be violating the law. You would literally be violating the law if you voiced that publicly. If I was seen walking with you after leaving from, a session of doing our science and trying to figure out new things, if they saw me walking on the same sidewalk as you, I would be arrested. Probably get my ass whooped. And if I fought back, probably find me on the end of a rope. That was less than 150 years ago. I didn't even have the right to vote 60 years ago. Or let's say, yes, 60 years ago. 60 years ago, I wouldn't even have had the right to vote. That's not even a lifetime. Like, that's when your grandparents were young. I would not have been allowed to vote. I would not have been allowed to marry anyone or marry someone who was not of my race. I would not be allowed into the same restaurant as you, some of you people. I would have to go wait in the back in the alley to get my food. Like, these are things that are relatively, like, in the grand schemes of things, these are new things. These are still new things in 2022. It's still a new thing. It's not even 60 years that we've been able to vote. And it's not even been 2 centuries since we were slaves and owned as property. So in 150 years since that time, look at me now. How you like me now? How you like me now? So as time moves forward, what was considered intolerable, what was considered scientifically factual is no longer considered scientifically factual and is no longer considered intolerable. So things are going to change in this transgender situation that, we're seeing society deal with a lot right now. That's become a hot button topic amongst many things in our society. There are facts about this entire social situation that aren't disputable, that I won't argue against with you. Biologically, you can't change your DNA. So biologically, you can say, hey, this is what this is. But socially, and in a person's own identity themselves, how they see themselves, this is what she sees herself as. So, even though we know that scientifically it can only get to a certain point, there still needs to be a level of respect paid to that person as, an autonomous individual. And, still, just to answer your question, she made the team. She made the team. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of the past. She did make the team. And I would say congratulations, because I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure that it took a lot of training to get ready to be in the condition to be able to go out there and try out, because they put you through a gauntlet of things you have to do and see how well you can handle things while you're tired, while you're exhausted, while you're struggling a little bit. They will put you through that ringer as well. So, I really, I feel like you have to start with the level of respect for a person before anything. There has to be respect, and a mutual respect, in that you're going to, recognize how I wish to be perceived, and you're going to at least give me that benefit and show me that courtesy. I think that is, that's where everything in society has to start. Doesn't matter who you're dealing with. It has to begin with the level of respect for a person, just mutually, on the basis of you a person, I'm a person. How would you like? What's your name? What's my name? Whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's where everything starts. You can't even begin to understand a person's worldview until you give them a mutual respect of who they are to you, or who they are, who they want you to address them as, or what they want you to address them as. So, I can't get mad at this. And I'm not gonna, sit here and harp on things that, are not disputable. I'm not gonna harp on that, because that's not necessarily the point. The point is not whether or not biologically this is a man or a woman. That is literally irrelevant, period. Because nothing in her life is being geared towards any of that having any real relevance in her day-to-day life. But this is the life that this person wants, and this is the life that they have genuinely committed themselves to. And it's not some like wishy-washy, here now, gone later kind of commitment. Once you make that commitment on this level, that's for life. That's for life. That's for life. So, I can't ever, feel animosity towards somebody who decides to make a decision in their life and decides to make a commitment in their life and runs with it. That's totally up to them. So congratulations to Lindsay. And this is Justine Lindsay. Yeah, Justine Simone Lindsay. Congratulations on making the Panthers Top Cats dance squad. And I'm sure there will be plenty of people out there supporting when they have their first public game, their first open to the public, meeting and inclusion into the football games once the season starts back up. But I really do feel like, I feel like this is being taken way too far in our society in regards to, now they're talking about grooming and all this shit. Like, look, man, that grooming, this whole thing on grooming to me is another irrelevant and disingenuous argument, in my opinion, because people are getting groomed to have sex. People are getting groomed to love guns. People are getting groomed to love cars. People are getting groomed to, love sports, whatever. People are getting groomed for everything. People's own life decisions that they choose to make, these things aren't made in a vacuum. These things are made because there has been there's an interest that a person takes in it, either through happenstance or through necessity. Some people feel like they are, they have to be true to themselves. And if being true to themselves means that they feel like they want to transition their gender, then how is that your problem? What does it matter? Even if it's there's young kids who go through this as well. And that's, yes, that is going to be a very controversial thing because it's young children. But at the same time, like, as far as I understand, everything is reversible up until the age of 18. So if this is something that they are not genuinely, wholeheartedly believing that is right for them as a person to move towards, then they can reverse it. Technology gives you that ability. So, this whole grooming thing to me is such a weird thing because people are groomed to do things and to like things and to view things from a certain perspective every single day and every moment of every single day. People are groomed to view the world a certain way, to view certain people a certain way, to view certain actions a certain way. You have been groomed to think the way you think. You have been influenced to think the way you think. There's, when people talk about free thinkers, no, there is not necessarily such a thing as a free thinker, because a free thinker is someone who, a free thinker in the realest sense is somebody who can actually create concepts of logical concepts on their own with no influence whatsoever. But there is, in this world, in this age, there is no such thing as an individual who has not been influenced by something throughout the course of their life that has brought them to the present point that they're at. And when it comes to the regards of them thinking and how they view things and how their opinions flow, you have been groomed. You have been groomed by everything around you, by everything that you enjoy and everything that you don't. You have been groomed. So it's kind of a disingenuous argument to try and push that and say, oh, they're trying to groom our kids, this and that. Nah. When I was a young kid, I knew who the kid was who was going to be gay. You knew he was going to be gay because he already was showing that. It wasn't a situation of, oh, when he got in high school, now he wants to be gay. No, I knew that cat I knew he was probably in that realm when we were in elementary school. And I have people that I've known from elementary into high school who they were, and they were always that way. So nobody, and we didn't address it, but we didn't pick on them for it. So, and I've gotten a little bit long-winded here rambling, but it's such a rabbit hole that you can go down. And I feel like you kind of got to give it its just due, because I realize that not everybody feels the same way about these kinds of situations and these kinds of societal issues. So, and I have no problem with anybody voicing their opinion. Anybody voicing their opinion in chat, whatever it may be. I mean, hey, it's your opinion. This is not somewhere where I'm going to keep somebody from giving their opinion. But, respectfully, I just ask that people open their thought a little bit. Just open up a little bit and try to perceive it from the other person's view, because it's not always as simple as just an X and a Y. You know what I mean? It's not always as simple as that. But that's going to be it for our show tonight. I do appreciate you guys for being in here with me. I do appreciate y'all, as always, for being part of my audience and showing love. And I will do as much as I can to reciprocate that. But I'll always be honest with you guys about things when it comes to my opinions and things that I say and I put out there. I'll always stand by what I say. And if it's wrong, then I'll admit that I was wrong. But I'll always try to be fair in how I look at things when it comes to us as people. So anyways, we will see you on Wednesday. Hope everyone has a wonderful night. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'm your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri, and this is Lineman Life Live. And I will catch you all on Wednesday. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get reminded when we're going live next. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.